Okay, fellas, wonderful stuff in Bahrain. Very, very proud of both of you. Promising start to the season, that's for sure. We have a straight track today, though. Straight tracks, of course, mean walls, and that's a lot of things for you guys to hit. So I've bought 8 front wings, okay? So that's 4 each. Just don't crash into something for a 5th time, please. Hi guys, I'm Aussie and welcome back to Kicking Haas. Today it is our All-American team. We are going to Jeddah. And, well, it was a brilliant result last time out, wasn't it? Logan Sargeant really did impress me, coming 4th in the race. Just did a really good job. And Crawford, he finished his first race in 15th. To be honest, he probably should have been 14th if I'd been paying attention on the last lap. We could have used our ERS a little bit better, I think, to get him past. But either way, it doesn't really matter ultimately. But yeah, really looking forward to this one. Now, the car, we have got extra wings. I have, go to front wings, we have 8. I've made some extra ones, so, I mean, there's 5 sessions. There's FP 1, 2, 3, qualifying in the race. As long as they don't crash in all of them, we should be fine. If they do crash in all of them, they deserve to be out because it's just costing us too much money at that point. So, yeah, let's hope that it works out okay. Now, you may have noticed Crawford does have a development point. We are going to go and stick that into, I think right now, we probably just want to work on getting Crawford to be as quick as he can be. So we'll continue to do that because his smoothness and adaptability isn't too bad. Overtaking and defending, I think we need to work on that. He needs to be quick enough to overtake and be able to defend, I think. So we'll work on this for the first little bit. The other 2 drivers don't have any development points right now. There's not much else to catch you up on. It's only been a 4-day break between the 2 races. So let's have a look at the Jeddah circuit. Lap record is Lewis Hamilton. We are expecting, as you would expect, a dry race. There's the circuit now for qualifying. Red is sector 1, blue is sector 2, yellow is sector 3. We can see there it's very fast for a straight track. And attributes, top speed's important, medium and high speed corners are important. Now these are things that our car doesn't necessarily excel at. We're very good at going slow, not so good at going fast. You can see there pit time lost 20 odd seconds, 25 odd seconds. It'll go down to 14 seconds for a safety car. And there's a 50% chance of a safety car over the last few races. The expected strategy, it's essentially a one-stop tyre performance. We can see the softs drop off quite quickly, and they're not that much quicker. 4/10, not even that, than a medium, and what's that? A little bit more, 7/10 or so than a hard, with a higher drop off. So the mediums and the hards are going to be the tyres that we want for the most part. Previous race came in 5th last year, and it looks like Sargeant was down there in 13th. Historically, Red Bull have won the last 2, and Sainz managed to get the win in Season 1 for Ferrari. So what do we expect this race? Reach Q2, we should do that. Qualifying position in the top 8. Let's back Sargeant. I'm not completely sure he'll be able to do it. What's the money loss if we don't? That's not huge. 32 grand, so that's huge. Not huge, I should say. We'll do that. Do we go for faster? I don't think so. Because as I said last time, what I don't want to do is push them to get into a mistake. We will have to push to go for fastest lap. Finishing streak, we need both cars in the top 10. I don't think we're going to get that this season. I really don't. I just don't think Crawford's going to be that consistent. He should score the odd point, but I don't think he's going to be consistent at it. And a car in the top 10, that's going to be Logan Sargeant's job, isn't it, for at least the first 4 races anyway. So let's head off to Jeddah, and let's see if Sargeant can compete his heroics of Bahrain. So there we go, confirmation of the weather forecast. I'm going to do some free practice. I'll see you for qualifying, and let's hope that we keep a few front wings in our back pocket. Alright, welcome back. Free practice is done, and it's not gone too bad. I've got to say, better than expected. You can see FP1 here. We had Sargeant up there in 7th, which is very nice. We had Crawford down there in 17th. FP2, again, Sargeant in 7th. Crawford this time sneaking just inside the top half there with a 13th place finish. And then FP3... Sargeant was quickest, Crawford was 6th. Now, I did by mistake send them out with less petrol, less fuel in the car, which would make them faster. So I don't want to get too excited by this. I suspect that might explain suddenly why they're both up 7 or so spots than they otherwise would have been. But you'd rather be there than not, that is for sure. So let's go and have a look at qualifying. And we can see here, we nailed the setup with Sargeant. We really have struggled to get a setup for Mr. Crawford here. So we'll go back to what we have as the highest, which is 93, but that's still not particularly great. Now, one thing I do want to do, we have extra engine parts, but I want to basically use the first one just as free practice And although we're less likely to need to take a penalty at any point this season, just because everybody has the extra parts than they otherwise would have, I'd rather, if we can, just use these first two, like use this one to death and then move this one onto free practice, and then use the other three, have them sort of more fresh from the races, or for the races I should say. So that's the plan. Whether or not that's going to actually work out, time will tell. But yeah, if we can have the best parts for the racing when it matters, then we will obviously try and do that. So we'll just make sure we've got all that. Q1 should be fine, I think, even for Crawford here. But if we need to, I'll come back, obviously. Alright, we are doing a second run with both cars. Crawford is close. He's very close. I believe that both cars got blocked a little bit on their first run, which is always, it's a little bit difficult to tell. But yeah, they both were sort of around other cars. They were passing other cars, I should say, on their fast laps. So whether or not they got blocked, it's, as I say, difficult to tell. But Sargeant, anyway, is in 11th. We're doing this just to be safe. It's only sort of 0.2 of a second or so. Someone has crashed. Now, is that going to bugger up everybody's laps, I wonder? Crawford has not done a fastest or a faster sector either. What are we looking like on sector times here? So Crawford might be going to miss out here. Sainz has crashed, so Sainz is out because he's down the bottom there. Can Crawford recover the lap? Otherwise, he is going to miss out, and that's really, really harsh, given that there's been a yellow flag. It's looking as though he is going to be out in 18th, but Sargeant is through. So there we go, Crawford eliminated. That's a shame. It really, really is. It does sort of show that I think we were a little bit the fuel, the amount of fuel in the car in FP3 was as much as anything to do with the lap. But Sargeant, we'll see how much they've sort of blocked in the first run, yellow flag second run. We don't really know what we've got in the car here. Alright, so Logan Sargeant coming around for his second run. He's currently sitting in 6th. Look at Verstappen and Leclerc. Same car, same time. That could be an epic battle this season, couldn't it? Now, I think Sargeant got blocked a little bit by K-Mag, of all people, on his first fast lap. It was on used tyres, so it's not the end of the world. But let's see what he can do here on the new set. We have saved an extra set of mediums for the race, so we're a little thin on soft tyres for qualifying. I was really hoping he'd be able to sort of do it on his first run in Q1, so we would have saved a set of soft tyres. But because we had to go out again, that has left us a little bit thin on the ground here. But he's done green sector 1, green sector 2. He's currently sitting in 10th. He is now out of qualifying. He needs to finish this lap, and it needs to be a good one. Where can Logan Sargeant put himself? Is he in Q3? He is. He's 6th. Same time as Russell. Yeah, look at that. Exactly the same time as Russell. Verstappen has just pipped Leclerc, and Leclerc just looks right in the Red Bull, doesn't he? Anyway, so 6th for Sargeant. Let's go to Q3 and see where we can start this one. Got to say, too, it is nice to see K-Mag getting through to Q3 as well. Both he and Sargeant, though, 9th and 10th currently, both blocked by everybody. Norris was the main one, I think. So again, that was on used tyres. So we're on our last fresh set of softs for this one. We won't have a new set for the race, unfortunately, but I don't think we're going to use a soft tyre unless there's a late safety car anyway, so I don't think I'd rather have the two mediums. Green first sector. Let's see what's achievable. We did match Russell last time around, so if we could get sort of 5th, I think it'd be the aim, wouldn't it? That'd be very, very nice. If we could be behind the Red Bulls, the Ferrari of Perez, and the Mercedes, I think that would be a success. But we'll see where we come out here. Green so far. Everybody is going to do their laps first, so Magnussen's gone ahead of us, but that makes sense because he was blocked as well. Here we go. Where does Logan Sargeant put himself on the grid? He is 4th! Logan Sargeant, 2nd row of the grid. So you've got to hand it to him. He has picked up straight where K-Mag left off, and he's doing an absolutely stonking job for us. Really, really pleased with that. Leclerc nips pole, but we're 4th, 2nd row of the grid. Let's have a look at our strategy options here. Alright, so medium hard seems to make the most sense, doesn't it? There's a part of me that wonders hard and then a medium. What that might enable us to... No, I think because we've got an extra set of medium tyres. So if we start on the medium, we want to go a little bit longer just so the hard's going to get there, particularly with Sargeant, who's not great on his tyres. Then what we can do with that extra set of medium, if we happen to get a safety car, we can put that on, or we can go and put a soft on if it's a little bit later in the race again. So I think I like that for him. Now, just from getting knocked out, we are going to have soft tyres with Crawford. But I'm wondering if we go the other way with him, if we start on the hard, given that we're more or less at the back anyway. There's a part of me that wonders if we take penalties with him here, and then that should be him done for the year. We might even do that because he's at the back essentially anyway. Yeah, so I wonder if we do that, and then if we get a safety car, we can sort of take the free stop and do medium, or medium soft or something like that. Because he's going to need help in just even in a normal race to try and get into the points. So let's do that. I think we will. He's starting 18th. It only moves him back a row, so we will take some penalties here. Oh, no, we can't because we haven't used all the old pieces, so never mind. We can't do that anyway. So let's go and do this race. And, well, let's see. Can Sargeant deliver another top 4? Could he get on the podium? Could he win? Surely not. All right, and welcome back. Here we go. Look at Sargeant up there. I'm really, really enjoying this now. As much as I miss K-Mag, and I don't say ideally I still would have had him in the car because the whole point was to have an American-only driver lineup. But obviously I really liked K-Mag, but I'm just really looking forward to this. I've been wanting to play, ever since the last race, and yeah, just excited to get back behind the wheel, so to speak. Now, it looks like Verstappen in front is on a hard tyre, Zoe's on a soft, but everybody else, most cars are on the hard tyre. I thought Crawford would be the odd one out, but it looks as though it's maybe Sargeant that's the odd one out, but not amongst the front group, where everybody in front of us except Verstappen also had a medium. So we'll see if we can make the most of it. If we remember back to the expected strategies right at sort of the start of the episode, the medium and the hard tyre, there wasn't that much difference between them anyway. As we pull out, and can we get down the inside here? Come on, Logan. Can he stick the move on Max? Not quite. But that is okay. Crawford is still down there in 18th. I mean, his race has just got to be just keep it out of the war, and you know, he is faster than 18th, I think. So he just needs to be a little bit sensible with how he's going about things, and he should move forward. Whether or not he'll move forward to points, he'll probably need help. But we saw there was a 50% chance of a safety car. That'll sort of throw the cat among the pigeons. Wondering if we can get one of those, particularly if it's at a good time for us. But yeah, I don't think we're going to get a move done here on Verstappen, are we? We maybe will save the Urs on him. It doesn't look like Crawford's going to get a move done either. So we might be a little bit draggy, perhaps, as DRS will come online, which will help. But yeah, it's a little bit line astern right now. I don't think it's even overtaken the race at all. It doesn't feel like it. So DRS assisted. We have Sargeant up into third as he gets the better of Max Verstappen. And yeah, nicely done into turn 1. Can he go and catch the front two now, the other medium tyre runners?
Gaining a position there.
So, it's a little bit like Bahrain. It's not the most exciting racing this season, I've got to say. Sargeant is not able to pull away from Max on the harder tyre, and in fact he is dropping back from the front two. They're just sort of DRSing past each other. But third and fourth, again, absolutely fine for Sargeant. We have Crawford kind of stuck right now in 18th. He can't get past, no one can get past him. It is just the old-fashioned DRS train that it looks like Albon is at the front of. So, we might need to do something. Oh, Crawford's locked up. Never mind, we don't need to worry. He's gonna drop back a little bit there now, isn't he? I don't think he's damaged the car. But yeah, just locked it up into turn 1. So a bit of a shame there. He's going to make mistakes, as I've said. But yeah, there we go. He's dropped off the back, and yeah, that will hurt his race, obviously. All right, so we have some pit stops. Perez has come in very early, and he has gone on to... Where's Perez? He's gone on to a hard tyre. I don't know if that's going to make it to the end. We've entered our pit window. We know that we were going a little bit longer. But yeah, there's lots of stops happening now, which is good, because if we just go back to this map, I was concerned that Sargeant was going to come out sort of at the back of this massive pile of cars. So if they're all going to stop before us, we can probably speed it up a little bit. If they're all going to stop before us, then it will obviously clear that path for us, which would be nice. So they do appear to be catching a little bit right now. So there is what's his face in Leclerc. We are now leading the race momentarily. Crawford up to 14th, and Ocon has spun. We would have really liked the safety car. Anytime now we can get a safety car would be a very nice time to get it, I've got to be honest. But anyway, Sargeant is winning. Alright, it is time for Sargeant to make his stop. You don't need to pass him here, mate. As I say, we're just DRSing back and forth with Verstappen. Now, let's hope that the Haas boys can put in a good one. And we can find a nice little bit of fresh air to come back into. Leclerc and Perez are already past us. Now, of course, they've used up more of their tyre as well. I don't think they're our race, to be honest. I don't even think Max is our race. If we can be in a little Logan Sargeant Island at 4th, I'd be quite pleased with that. And we've come out ahead of Crawford. Far enough ahead not to worry about a takeout. And we've got about 5 seconds in front of us as well. So hopefully we might just burn a little bit of extra petrol here. While Verstappen is on older hard tyres, we might be able to get a little bit of an overcut. And then, not that I'm thinking we're going to beat Verstappen, but if we can come out near him or in front of him and then do the same thing, DRS back and forth, and you never know, we might be able to nick him for 3rd at some point if it's a bit of a weird race, or he might be able to catch us up to the front too on his better tyres. But yeah, let's see how this develops from here. Crawford is still a few laps away from his stop yet. But yeah, I mean, what was it? Was it 23 seconds was the gap, wasn't it? And we're 17 seconds behind the leader, so we should come out in front of Verstappen quite comfortably at this rate. That can't be right, can it? We'd be 6 or so seconds in front. Anyway, we'll take it if it happens. Alright, so Sargeant has now hit himself a little bit of traffic, and this is going to be a problem because we're going to start losing time out again to Verstappen. So we're going to have to try and use our ERS here as sensibly as we can to try and get some moves done. I don't think this is the part of the track we want to use it. We'll try and get moves done into the last corner and then into turn 1. Of course, it is a DRS train, and it's guys on old hard tyres. You can see we're getting close to Sargeant's time to pit. So we want to go on to overtake here. I probably should have done it coming into that corner, actually. And if some of these guys would like to pull off into the pit lane, that would be helpful. We don't have enough ERS to get this done. Can we get the move done, Logan? No. We're still in a good spot compared to Verstappen. We've been going about 3/4 of a second a lap faster. But the issue we have is that we're now stuck, aren't we? We need to try and get moves done. And as I said, what I don't want to do is force moves to be done. We're looking quite strong for 4th position right now. So what we don't need to do is stick it in the wall or make a mistake or anything like that. But if we could fight for a 3rd place, I certainly wouldn't say no to it. Let's see if we can get a move done into the final corner here, perhaps. Not quite around the outside. That's ambitious. And with DRS, we should get that done. We do. We'll go back onto Harvest now. So that's Vettel out of the way. Look at this in front. 3 wide. Can we take advantage of something here, I wonder? Not quite.
Is that a new race position for Haas?
But, yeah, we've got the 2 Williams and Albon in the way now. We can clear them quickly. We've got a little gap then in front of us to Ricciardo and Norris and Perez. Perez, of course, has stopped, and Leclerc, nobody else up there has. So, yeah, let's see what we can do. This is a DRS zone here. I don't really want to use it. I think we just saw there the best way to do it is to harvest up this straight, use the DRS to get right up to the back of them, and then use the overtake coming down this straight here and see. I think we're a little bit too far back, are we? No, we've got a good drive out of the corner. Go back onto Harvest, and we've got 2 cars done down the straight. Logan Sargeant, I'm quickly falling in love with you, I think, mate. We've got the optimal lap for what's his face to stop, so we'll go and stick on a set of medium tyres for him, and we'll go and check in on his pit stop momentarily.
Excellent move by Haas to gain
And
a few
if we can get Stroll now, of course, that is who was holding Crawford up at the last race. But if we can get him, then that would be very, very nice indeed. He is going to be due a stop. If Crawford is stopping this lap, then a lot of the hard tyre runners are going to be looking to come in as well. We'll keep harvesting up this straight, and then we'll make sure we get the DRS and the batteries down the front straight to get it done. So we'll go to overtake, and this should be relatively simple. Is he coming into the pits? He's not. But yeah, easy as you like. We'll go back to neutral, and that is Sargeant up to 9th now as Crawford comes into the pits. And let's see what the Haas boys can do for him. And it is a 2.7 second stop. We're definitely quicker this year than we were at this point last year, I think. So Crawford comes out stone motherless last. He does have a medium tyre. But he probably needs a safety car, doesn't he? That locked brake has hurt him, and, well, we'll see what he can do. But maybe a learning experience, this one. Alright, so the pit stops have now happened. Crawford 19th, but Sargeant in 3rd. Leclerc is, through that pit cycle, has opened up a big lead over Perez. Verstappen is going to catch us. He's going to pass us. We have to accept that. Sainz is quite quick as well in 5th. If we go and have a look at last laps, Verstappen and Sainz are in the 32s, 31s. And Sargeant is a 33 one. So, oh, we've got what's happened here. It's the last lap. It's the last lap? It's the last lap. I've completely missed that. It's the last... No, it can't... Oh no, last lap of the... I was going to say, there's no way it's last lap of the race. So Bottas has crashed, which doesn't... We were ahead of him anyway. The Mercedes are quite poor in the race this season. So we're on board with Crawford in 18th. Let's go and have a look here. We do have Verstappen in front. This is where we just need to try and stay with him as much as possible. For no other reason, we don't actually probably want to overtake him here. But if for no other reason than to make sure we stay clear of Sainz, who is, as I said, quite quick. So, yeah, there is. It's not the last lap. There is still about 14 laps to go. Bottas is in the pit, so he has damaged his car. Yeah, so let's see what we can get done here. If we can stay 4th, what a performance, what a race for Logan Sargeant. He hasn't made a mistake yet though, so that's always more troubling. Every corner he doesn't make a mistake means he's a corner closer to his mistake, doesn't it? Alright, so unfortunately we did lose the back of Verstappen, who is now right up behind Perez. They're just up the road. They're pulling away from us a little bit. We tried just Verstappen on his medium tyres. It was the first sector. It was the first sector that did it. We were getting very close. I tried to deploy him to keep him into the DRS zone. You can just see them up there. Yeah, we just lost him, and then like 2 laps later he was right on the back of Perez. So we'll keep trying to chase him down. I think if Perez drops off the back of Verstappen, then we might be a chance of going and nicking a podium. Ultimately, what I didn't want to do is push him on the tyres or anything, because, like I say, I think we just need to play it safe this season. Just take the points that are available to us, and we've got a 4th in the bag here, unless Sargeant makes a mistake. So that's why I didn't push the tyres. I mean, using ERS is not necessarily telling you to do something you shouldn't. It just gives you more power in a straight line. But yeah, ultimately, we just fell short of that one. But if we can get another 4th place, that is just absolutely huge. And, Crawford, to his credit, is putting up a decent battle. He's in a fight here with Albon. They seem to be going back and forth, DRSing past each other. There he goes again. His lap times are pretty good. If we go and have a look at that, a 32.4, 32.9 that lap, probably because he was behind in the DRS. But a 32.9 is the same pace that Sargeant's doing. So, that's not bad at all, is it? Albeit Sargeant's on a hard tyre. But, yeah, anyway, he's doing okay. Just qualifying has just really hurt him, hasn't it? And then the lock-up as well. You can't really recover from that. Alright, so we are on the last lap of the race. Sargeant, if we go to the overall map here, you can see, if we just quicken up the speed a little bit so you can actually see, he's in an absolute island again. He's in the Logan Island of 4th, which is brilliant. We will take that any day of the week. Hopefully he can bring this home. It'll be a mistake-free race for him. It's going to be another Red Bull 1-2. Ultimately, this is just where he is, isn't it? He's the 4th fastest car. He started 4th. Possibly he's going to finish 4th. And, well, he's going to finish 4th because he's just rounded the last corner. So well done, Logan Sargeant. He comes 4th in Saudi Arabia. Wonderful job. And Crawford is 16th. We've been deploying with him, trying to keep him ahead of Alexander Albon. Is he going to be able to do it? It looks like he can. So 16th just for Crawford. So once again, Logan Sargeant getting the job done in 4th place. He's doing brilliantly, isn't he? He has really stepped into the team leader role. Crawford up to, like I say, qualifying sort of messed him up. He made his own mistake, which didn't help him, obviously, then going back to the back of the grid. But only made one mistake, a minor mistake, relatively speaking, as well. So the 8 front wings, we didn't need any of them in the end. We just kept using the ones we started with. So Sargeant now goes up to 3rd in the drivers' standings. Well done to him. Best of the rest behind the Red Bulls. And that's more or less where Magnussen would have been. So, yeah, although you do wonder where K-Mag would have been in this car, but we're not going to think about that. We're just looking forward. Constructors, we're up to second. We go ahead of Ferrari by a point, and like I say, it's just Sargeant is doing a wonderful, wonderful job for us right now. Could not be happier with him. But guys, that'll do it for today. If you have enjoyed that, make sure you hit thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new. We'll be back next time. I believe it's the Australian Grand Prix. So that will be my home race, if not the team's. And yeah, a development point for Sargeant as well. We can put that into some tyre life for him. And yeah, if you've enjoyed it, thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you next time in Melbourne. Take care.